Good afternoon, and welcome to the 10th Annual State of the City Luncheon. I want to thank Farina's Banquet Center here for hosting our activities again this year. We're all fortunate to be here today, and we all want to share in the growth of our city and neighboring communities. We're also very fortunate to have many special guests and their staff that have taken the time out of their busy days to share with us the progress that has been made in our communities. You know, and progress in today's environment, kind of unusual. So I think it says a lot about each and every one of you sitting here today for contributing in some part to that. So without any further ado, I'd like to introduce some of our special guests to you. First, Berkeley's Mayor, Marilyn Steffen, and members of her staff, as well as our City Council members and DDA. Huntington Woods Mayor, Ron Gillum, and members of his staff. Our Superintendent, Mike Semick, and members of the board that are here. The Honorable Jamie Wittenberg of the 45th District Court. And we're very pleased to have some people from the state of Michigan here. Senator Yoda Jacobs, Senator John Papageorge, State Rep Ellen Cogan-Lipton, and I'm not going to be long-winded today, so on behalf of the Berkeley Chamber of Commerce.
One more. Our County Commissioner, Janet Jackson.
Our County Commissioner, Janet Jackson. I'm sorry. Nice to have you here, Janet. So, without any further ado, I'd like to turn the floor over to our mayor. Madam Mayor. Can I help you, young lady? Get up here, okay?
Thank you. Well, when you saw the topic, State of the City, you probably thought, I've been reading the newspapers, I watch television. Well, I'm not going to take you down that path. I want to begin by thanking the Chamber of Commerce for sponsoring this event. This is the 10th annual State of the City Luncheon. Our thanks to Executive Director Julie Melrose, who arranged the event, along with President Keys Hyatt for their work, and to every single one of you who is here for taking time from your demanding schedules to celebrate and to analyze and hear about our two cities. What words would you use to describe the state of the city of Berkeley in October 2010? Well, I consulted an Oakland County publication, and I found that other cities are described thus: exclusive, lavish, upscale, affluent. Some are described as home to corporations, and another as featuring waterfront properties. Those terms don't fit, do they? I found another word that wasn't used to describe Berkeley: innovative. But we need to become more innovative as we address the fiscal demands of the coming years. Now, here are some phrases that have been used to describe Berkeley in recent years: a small, close-knit city, a best-kept secret, a unique, thriving community, a place of quiet community living. Well, in February, a new description was added. Teresa Colley, administrative assistant to City Manager Jane Bice DeSessa, answered a phone call. And she turned to Jane and said, Jane, Business Week is calling. Well, Jane said, I don't need any more magazine subscriptions. Fortunately, Teresa convinced Jane to take the call. And she spoke to a reporter for Bloomberg's Business Week and learned that Berkeley had been ranked the most affordable suburb of 863 United States communities that they had studied. We didn't apply for this. It just happened. And the criteria that was used by Business Week included these elements: crime rate, the schools, affordability, the local economy, income, living expenses, quality of living, racial diversity, green space, and commute. Now, how did it happen that Berkley qualified? Well, to begin with, our Public Safety Department, directed by Chief Richard Eschman, continues to ensure the safety of our neighborhoods and businesses. They provide training for our children and all residents through their cable series, Behind the Badge. And to their credit and the vigilance of our residents and businesses, Berkeley enjoys a low crime rate. As a community, Berkeley is committed to preserving green space and engaging in activities and programs that are environmentally sound. The Department of Public Works, Director Bruce Jerome, the Tree Board, the Environmental Advisory Committee, the Planning Commission, and the Zoning Board of Appeals are all dedicated to promote these endeavors to maintain and preserve green space in our city. The educators, support staff, administration, and school board continue to maintain high standards, and young families are attracted to find homes in this community because of the great reputation of Berkeley Public Schools and the national recognitions that have been awarded to them. Well, since last October's State of the City event, nearly a dozen new businesses have opened on Coolidge and 12 Mile. It's remarkable in this economic situation. And it is a testimony to their faith in our local economy and the affordability of retail space in Berkeley. Property values have declined in Berkeley, as has happened in all regions of the state. And that decline is accompanied by a decline in tax revenues, which will be a serious challenge for the next few years. But Finance Director David Sabuda, along with City Manager Jane Bice DeSessa, and all the department directors analyzed, predicted, and prepared a balanced budget, which Council approved in May. It enables our staff to use our resources wisely and with careful oversight. And our 2009-2010 budget received a second Distinguished Budget Preparation Award, thanks to the hard work of the Finance Department. Families, residents of all ages, and visitors to Berkeley enjoy many community events that contribute to the quality of life that we enjoy. Berkeley Days, the Art Bash, the Cruise Fest, the Classic Car Parade, Robina Rhapsodies, the Holiday Lights Parade, and tree lighting. All of them sponsored and run by volunteers. Our volunteer groups raise funds to provide for these activities, and some events even realize profits that are distributed to organizations of the city. Last weekend, the Friends of the Library realized a profit of over $4,000 in their annual fall book sale. And Director of our library, Celia Morris, gratefully accepts the many donations from the Friends that help to make her job of providing services to our community more interesting. Our public safety officers sponsor Lids for Kids, a fire hall open house, and a golf outing. The Tri-Community Coalition and the Chamber of Commerce also sponsor golf outings. The school district and city planner Amy Vanson cooperate to sponsor the Spring Home Expo. Our Parks and Recreation Department, led by Director Kevin Price and Arena Manager Tom Caldwell, offer many events throughout the year and publish the Berkley Buzz as well to inform our residents as to what is going on. Volunteers contribute their time and talents to make these events successful. And all of these events contribute to the quality of life in Berkley. And they are captured on film by our communications coordinator, Nancy Line, just as today's is being captured on film, so look your best. I need not tell you that Berkley is well located on the Woodward Corridor and close to I-96, and that events in the metropolitan area are easily accessed from Berkley. Another benefit of our location is that many Berkley retail establishments are destinations that attract shoppers and diners from other communities in Metro Detroit. The Doll Hospital and Toy Soldier Shop, Bagger Dave's, Vincetta Garage, and Westbourne Market are just a few of the many that attract shoppers to our city. In June, 13 Berkley businesses were recognized as best of the best in the Daily Tribune based on reader selection. Other businesses have received recognition in 2010 from peers in their specialized field, including PM Environmental up there on 11 Mile, and the SHW Group, which is an architectural firm on Coolidge. In conclusion, I want to thank our IT specialist, Brenda Cole, who prepared, I guess it's a PowerPoint for me. I'm not capable of doing something like this. And I really appreciate it, Brenda. It is because of the hard work and dedication of our city employees, administrators, our city council members, residents, members of our business community, the many organizations of the city, and especially our dedicated volunteers, that Berkley was designated most affordable suburb. Now, we could just sit back and bask in the glow of that accolade and enjoy the satisfaction that we balanced the budget without too many tears. Last year, I concluded my message at this gathering by saying, Berkley isn't standing still. My message for 2010 is, we can't sit back and savor our satisfaction with the way things are. Instead, we must continue to deserve Business Week's recognition by maintaining our quality of life, our low crime rate, our good schools, and all the attributes that I have cited. We must meet new challenges with innovative ideas. We cannot sit back and rest in the glow. Thank you.
Well, I'd like to echo my thanks to the Chamber of Commerce for making it possible for us to come talk a little bit about our cities, and Marilyn for doing the groundwork. You did a good job. I could almost just say ditto and sit down. It would make it short because I think we're a great place and we try to work hard like you do. But when you started your speech, I said, oh my gosh. So the same question. How would you describe the state of the city in the fall of 2010? Well, is it chaotic? Not really. Catatonic? Not last time I checked. Euphoric? Hardly. Broken? Not really, but somewhat bent. Worried? Maybe if we really knew how bad things were in this great state of ours, we might be a little worried. Concerned? Now maybe we're getting somewhere. Anxious? Maybe that's a place to stop and just think about that. But before I go on, I'd like to introduce some of the staff members who are here with us, because without these people, we'd be in trouble. But we're only in a little bit of trouble now, but they're helping us. But I'm sure all of you know our great city manager, Alex Alley. Alex is here with us today. For any of you who don't know, Alex had a rather severe accident at home back in July where he fell and badly damaged his right hip and pelvis. The doctor managed to sort of put it back together, and he's now getting back at it. You know, interesting, I'm getting to think that it's not good for a city manager to know me, because Alex fell and hurt himself. Former city manager, long time ago, Dave Wilfong, was climbing on a stepladder in Florida, fell, crushed, broke his clavicle, and damage to his legs. So for those guys, I'm sorry, but I hope there's not a connection. But he's recovering too. But now also here is Tony Lehman, our very talented finance director. Tony has been a great help to our acting city manager for a while, the multi-talented public safety director, Steve Fairman, who's sitting here. I was going to say you hardly knew that Alex was gone, but that wouldn't be fair. I'm sure both those two guys are really happy to see Alex back. Nancy Wallman, our very busy recreation director, is here. And, you know, maybe it's a sign of the times that we're in right now, where Nancy and her crew are very busy these days. People seem to have developed an even greater fondness for our rec programs and things that are going on there, so they don't have to travel. They can stay home and do a lot of the things they want. So I think as our economy suffers, the recreation facilities, I said a long time ago that we're in a recreation age. I think we're still there. And Ann Haig, sitting over here, our library director. Ann works really very hard to keep the Huntington Woods and Pleasant Ridge residents happy and satisfied with our multifaceted services at the library. I think does a great job. And also with us today from the commission is our hardworking Mayor Pro Tem, Jeff Jenks. Jeff has just completed a year as president of the Michigan Municipal League Board of Directors, which makes him the president of the Michigan Municipal League, where he really worked very hard to keep the ideas of cities and village interests in front of the somewhat recalcitrant legislature. No offense. Not from our legislatures. Jeff showed great leadership and made us all in Huntington Woods very proud. Thank you very much, Jeff. And it was interesting as Mayor Stephan talked. I really want to thank her and her staff here in Berkley for their willingness to work with us. You know, I think it's totally contrary to what you hear and read about a lot, how cities never work together and they never do things together. They're always duplicating efforts and things like that. I think that we work together, and we're very proud of the relationship with Berkley. Berkley provides our public safety dispatch. You know, it doesn't matter where the phone call goes to. It's just how it gets to the public safety officers. Our jail services, hopefully we don't have to use it very much. Salt storage, fuel storage, and dispensing. We think our libraries cooperate very well. Public safety departments help each other when they're needed. Overall, I think we get along very well, and we'd like to say thank you again to Berkley for what you do to help us. In the same vein, Berkley, Ferndale, provides us with a place to dump, you know, just this time of year, it's very important, to dump the leaves and get them ready to be sent off to Sacra, where they convert them into compost, which all of you can get for free. Isn't that a good deal? And we do provide Pleasant Ridge library service. I think that that's very happy. In fact, we have a member of Pleasant Ridge serving on our library staff. One, or is it two? Two. There's two members on our library board, so that's great. And I'll say we also participate in many of the programs that are available countywide and statewide for buying things. We can buy things from the county, so to speak, or through the county much cheaper than we as a small city can do ourselves. So there's a lot of things that help us. Budgets. We talk about budgets. I'm not going to give you numbers, but it's always an indicator of well-being. And I guess I'd have to say we're okay for now. That's an okay lowercase, not okay. But we're getting along. Our credit rating is still AA+. We're very proud of that. And that's probably only as long as Oakland County remains AAA. I think so they're doing it, but there's always apprehension. I wonder what state Oakland County's in, the state of Oakland County. I think it's pretty good. I think one thing you can be sure, we can't count on a lot more help from the state. They've got their own problems, and quite sure, as Mayor Stephan said, the recovery is going to be slow. We've got laws and effects in the state that slow it down. Now, some of the things we're doing. We just completed the first year of work on our water and street programs. I really want to thank residents of the community who endured this inconvenience for not being able to get to their homes. They're very, very patient, and I think our DPW crew did a great job of keeping them informed what was going on and what was going on, and sort of minimize the problems. Due to the nature of the layout of the city, we're very dense, and all the housing is pretty close together. We made a conscious effort when we put this program together to put before the voters that it would be spread out over a significant period of time. And in fact, we didn't want to disturb everything all at once. So it looks like as we plan right now, we'll plan to do about 1 mile of streets for the next 15 years. Each year. 1 mile each year for 15 years. So it'll be a little bit over a long period of time. When we get all done, we'll have some very, very good streets. Not that they're all bad, but they could always be better. Asset management, you work on everything. You work on the partially good streets to make them real good. They'll last longer and cost you less in the long run. I think we have to thank our voters for recognizing the need and the necessity of satisfying it. So they voted for the bond issue. Some of you may know we sued the engineering firm who designed and oversaw the resurfacing of our side of Coolidge between 10 and 11 Mile Road. I think anybody that's driven over that road over the past few years would recognize, yeah, we didn't get a good job. A road should have lasted many years, but it only started falling apart almost immediately, so it's a bit of a problem. But then after a long and costly process, an Oakland County Circuit Court jury agreed with us and awarded us compensation approaching the cost of doing the job in the first place. Now, we still have to wait for the appeal process, if there is, and there probably will be one, until we know the final outcome. But that's just, we're hoping it's soon so that we can get on with it. Another sort of important event in the city that was sort of sad, we had to close the post office at City Hall. We were one of the few post offices left in a city building. And I think, although it did provide our residents and a lot of probably some of you and people around us with a convenient and useful connection to the post office world, the subsidy of doing that and tight budget times just outweighed the benefit. Unfortunately, going along with that was the retirement of Lois Silk, who I believe it was about 25 years or so she was the postmaster. She did a marvelous job. A lot of you probably know her. On the positive side, we won some special awards from the Historic Preservation Society of Michigan for the creation of our historic district, which we did. We sometimes call that the Hill District, and for the preservation of Rackham Golf Course as a public golf course into the future. We're very proud of the results and the awards and the recognition we got for that. On the other end of the spectrum, maybe, our teen council has been recognized and honored for the past 4 years. 2 years, it was considered the best teen council in the state, all over the state. 1 year for having the best teen council leader in the state, and for continuing excellence in providing a rewarding experience and outlet for those youth who seek to give, not just get. We're very proud of Tracy Shanley and the outstanding job she has done for the youth and all of us. I want to thank the Greater Berkley Chamber of Commerce. I think they still say greater. We think we're part, that's okay. For providing us with the opportunity to talk a bit about what's going on in our fair cities. And I certainly hope that all of you have a safe, sane holiday season and can continue to keep this area the hot spot in our district.
Good afternoon. Each year I come here, I am reminded of a statement from Jerry Garcia, who stood in front of an audience and said, "Somebody has to change the world. It's just incredibly pathetic that it has to be us." And the reason I think of that is every year I think how lucky I am to come and speak to all of you and to serve our children with all of you. I'm very sincere in that. This is a collection of a truly remarkable group of people, and I wanted to point out a couple of them, and I could go on for a very long period of time because each person in the room is special in a very different way. But I wanted to point out a couple folks, as Mayor Gillum did, that are responsible for significant portions of our success as a school district. Deputy Superintendent Larry Gallagher, back. And if he were moving around the room right now, you'd hear a squeaking sound because Larry is so tight. Man after Mr. Lehman's own art there. He's responsible for the fine state of our school district's affairs, and despite the struggling economy in the state, we are in exceptionally good position, particularly relative to our peers. And another person is Mrs. Mary Beth Fitzpatrick, Director of Curriculum. Our Director of Curriculum, Technology, Assessment, and Grants, and she's hoping that doesn't get longer as time goes by. But Mary Beth is in charge of our champagne curriculum on our beer budget. And does an exceptionally fine job with that. We're also very fortunate to have several of our legislators in the room with us today, and I believe we are extraordinarily well represented, particularly given other parts of the state. Our representatives are here. They are smart, they are hardworking, they are responsive to their constituents and to the school district, and this includes our commissioners, our school board members, our state representatives, and our, who did I leave out of there? City council members, and our Judge Wittenberg as well. Extraordinarily fortunate to serve with these folks, so thank you. Also, I wanted to start out today by telling a story about how the speech came together today. I'm a member of Rotary, and I'd encourage all of you to go to the Berkley Rotary at 12:15 at the Methodist Church on 12 Mile. We went to Rotary, Larry and I did this week, and we got there. And said, "Hey, who's our speaker this week?" And, we don't have a speaker this week. Last week we had a pretty cool speaker, and this week we don't have anyone. And so I said, "Well, why don't you speak, Mike?" I know that wasn't the reason for the question. And so I said, yeah, let Mike speak. So what happened was Mike put together his speech on the placemat. And here it is. This is not spaghetti sauce, by the way. And that turned into what will be some of the comments of today. I gussied it up a little bit, but that's where it all started out. Today is, it's going to be broken into 4 parts. First, the Berkley School District, how education has changed our legislation and election issues, and finally our school district challenges. And so to the school district, this is a day when all of us should be very happy that we are not an elementary school teacher. Tomorrow is Halloween. The children in one... you've heard of merit pay for teachers. It should be delivered on November 1st. There's one classroom of kids that were greeted at the door. They have line up outside, and it was Halloween, Halloween to their second grade teacher. It's tough out there. Something this Friday, tomorrow, if you are not otherwise encumbered, tomorrow will be the 8-1 Berkley football team's playoff game at Hurley Field. And it's a terrific thing. It says if you want to feel good about your community, go to a place where the band is playing, the parents are there, even the parents of children that don't have a kid in the band or on the team. There they come, and they come on a regular basis. It's going to be a terrific fall evening football game. One of the things that I'm particularly impressed with our football coach is that he has developed the team not based upon winning and losing. And he first met the parents. There had been some disciplinary issues with some of the kids on the team, and one of the parents asked him, "Hey, Coach, can you do something about the kids throwing their helmets?" He said, "What do you mean the kids throwing their helmets?" "Well, kids get mad and they throw their helmets and they act out and they do things that they shouldn't be doing." And he said, "No, I can't do anything about your kids throwing their helmets. But I can tell you they'll only do it once." And that's how he's run things. It's based upon showing up and working hard and doing your best and having fun at it. And the nice thing is that ethic has led to a successful football program. And so the coach, whether he's 8-1 or 0-9, he has developed kids that are proud of themselves and their efforts. And we get to see that this Friday. I hope to see you there. It's going to be a great night. We have published a number of statistics about the district, and this is the end of the road for our students, and it's the outcome that is really important. And there are three statistics that we throw around and we use on a regular basis. One of them is our admission rate at University of Michigan, another at Michigan State, and another at Kalamazoo College. These are the three schools that are the hardest to get into in our state. And our state has an exceptionally good public university system and private schools, private colleges as well. Last year, over 50 students at Berkeley High applied to the U of M, and 81% of them got in. At Michigan State, there are nearly 100 that applied to Michigan State. 77% of them got in. And for the MSU fans, you can say yes, because we're more selective. At Kalamazoo, for the second year in a row, 100% of our students that applied were accepted. One of the things that I noticed, Kalamazoo is a very hard school to get into. And all the schools that I've worked in, what I've noticed is that it's always the top 5 kids that go to Kalamazoo. Interestingly, in Berkeley, it's between number 25 and number 50. That tells you where, relatively speaking, the students are falling. It's tough to get in, but our very good kids are getting in there on a regular basis, obviously. We also have our valedictorian from last year is at Yale this year on nearly a full ride. We also have a student at the United States Naval Academy. It's a particularly powerful story because it's a student that the staff literally clothed and fed. Exceptionally bright kid, child of a single parent, was a drum major in our school, is a wonderful kid, and he's on obviously a full ride at the United States Naval Academy. A tremendous story, and it's illustrative, and it's very important because our school, unlike many other schools, really has a wide range of students, economically, racially, ethnically, and in terms of achievement. We have a very full spectrum of types of folks that walk in the door. And Berkeley truly is a place of opportunity. And we're very, very proud of that. We're also, Newsweek magazine selected us for the 3rd year in a row as one of the public elite high schools. We're ranked number 6 on that list. And what's different about Berkeley than the other folks on that list is the diversity of our kids on those various levels. And so it's something that we're very proud of. We've also worked very hard and very strategically about how to get more advantages for our students at universities or wherever it is that they want to go and continue their education. Because 100% of our students need to continue their education. We've sent counselors to the Harvard Institute on College Admissions, which is basically a method for us of figuring out how the game of college admissions is played. Can you all hear me? Over the, okay. Because everything is a game. It's just a matter of figuring out how it's done. We want to get the thumb on the scale for our students. Sending our counselors to Harvard is part of that. And at the end of the presentation today, I'll give you our high school profile. The high school profile is one of the key elements in beginning to crack that nut and become more proficient at it. And we have become more proficient at it. We also sent the 3 counselors from the high school to the National Conference on School Counseling, College Admissions Counseling, and again, to broaden their understanding and the influence that they have on the entire student body. That's just a couple of the initiatives that we have undertaken, and the result of that is reflected in the high school profile. And one of the things that you'll see in a high school profile is when our students apply to a college, the admissions officer at the college will pull up the profile. That's how this is done. And one of the things they want to see is where have students from this school gone? And how well have they done? What kind of a kid are we looking at here? And our profile will tell you we've got a really strong looking profile for those folks to look at. 8 of our top 10 students this past year went out of state to college. Several years ago, I don't know that we were in that position. Unfortunately, I hate to say this, but many of our best and brightest kids are going to go out of state, whether to work or to study, and that's one of the jobs that we feel that we need to work at, is to make that possible. That's why we're sending counselors out of state to increase the admissions rate at the local universities, but also increase admissions rates out of state. Final point on the status of the schools. It's a particular point of pride this year for me as I've gone around the district is to look at our middle schools. Middle school is a time, I've got a middle school, I've got a 7th grader right now. It's like somebody came and conked your kid on the head because they are just really different. And sometimes people ascribe that to the school. I'm telling you, I've been in the schools and I've been with my children and something happened to them, and it wasn't middle school. It was something physiological. It is astonishing how different they are. And I've got a little guy, I just got my daughter out of middle school recently. I was at conferences last night, and I am incredibly impressed with the work that's being done in both of our middle schools to increase the rigor, increase the expectation, and to provide very interesting programming for our students. There's a program at Norup right now called the ACES program, and it's a way to leverage staff's interest in things outside of what they're normally doing in school that they might be passionate about. We've got a guy at Norup that really knows a lot about rockets and combustion. And you talk about a cool thing for a middle school boy. And so they have time to do that during class. At Anderson, one of the things that I saw was a reading program and a writing program that teachers are working together on. And the proof of the pudding is to go and talk to the kids in the class and say, what are you working on? Well, I'm working on a thesis statement. You know what a thesis statement is? Yeah, thesis statement is when you say what you're going to talk about. And then you talk about it in the 3 paragraphs after that. Well, what do you have to have in those paragraphs? Well, you got to have a topic sentence. Well, what's a topic sentence? Well, topic sentence is what you're going to talk about in that paragraph. And so on it goes. And I mean, she just had it. And this is stuff that she wants to write about. And she knows the stuff. And it's just terrific to see that kind of energy. Education has changed. Second part. one of the things that leaps out there is that a number of us, it's been a year or two since we were in school, and I include myself in that list. And one of the things that amazes me, if you hear anybody say that school is not as hard as it used to be, they are not accurate, to say it, put it lightly. At the high school, we have multivariable calculus. We have a larger math curriculum than anywhere else that I know of in the state. We have an entire class of students taking multivariable calculus and linear algebra. When I was in high school, we didn't have calculus in high school. It wasn't in the curriculum, and I went to a very good high school. And so now we have entire cohorts of kids taking this. 8th graders routinely take advanced algebra. When I was in high school, advanced algebra was for juniors. Things have shifted. If you go to CASA, which is sort of a candy store for the intellectual curious, it is the first 2 years of your college education in high school. It is rich, it is stimulating, and it is not easy. Another one of the significant changes is, and when I look at our students and their college acceptances, I am very confident that I wouldn't get in anywhere. A buddy of mine said recently, hey, my parents saved all my report cards, gave my report cards, and I read them all, and I came away and I said, I excelled in plays nicely and gets along with others. Our kids are smarter. One of the folks on our school board is a nurse, had the kids studying for an exam at her house, physiology, and they're throwing all these things around and this part of that and that part, and she came in and she said, you cannot know this stuff. It is not possible for you as high school kids to know this much. Because said, I didn't do that until I was way into college, and that is normal for our students right now. In addition to all these things, we have students in class with us now that were never there when you and I were in school. We have students with disabilities in our classrooms, in general ed classrooms. And when you and I were in school, most of us, those students were shunted off to some other place. We didn't know where they went. We don't know what they did. We have a student at the high school who is blind, and he is autistic, and his parents are deaf. And one of the things that we discovered was when we put that student in a general ed classroom, that kid can produce on tests everything that he should be able to produce. So not only does he get it, he gets A's. And he's a whiz-bang piano player. And if you went and spoke to this child, you would never know that all this is going on. Ever. You would never have believed that it was possible. And this is a routine thing for him in schools today. So not only are kids learning more, but there are more kids learning more than ever before. There is no doubt in my mind that that's the case. Despite the public perceptions that that's not what's going on. And that's the third thing, legislative and elections. One of the things I think that happened a number of years ago is somebody said, our schools are failing us. And then a bunch of people cheered. And then a number of politicians said, you know what, I'm going to say that again. And we've been hearing it ever since. Because all of us can think of somewhere where a school failed us or failed somebody we know. We can think of that. We can also think of, and I saw this at parent-teacher conferences last night, the unbelievable debt that we owe to that teacher that got us. And we all have a teacher that just lit us up. So as a parent, what do I owe that teacher? What value could I place on that teacher that lit my kid up? There is no value. So, the political winds are blowing, as you may have noticed, if you've turned on the TV. And there is a great deal of talk about accountability and reform, a huge amount of talk. The concern about that accountability, and if anybody that knows me will know that there's nobody more interested in accountability than I am, because I want a great product for each of our kids. And I'm completely committed to getting that. The problem with the accountability is that the method of accountability is to test things that don't matter. And to reduce every kid down to a number about things that are not important. The key to an American success has been ingenuity and creativity and problem solving. That is what got us where we are. And we're trying to compete with people from other countries that are not as good at those things as we are. All the while we're trying to be more like them, they are trying to be more like us. Very interestingly, in Singapore, which is sort of the definition of we're going to grind you to a pulp in the educational system, they have mandated creativity. Okay? They mandate creativity instruction, so while we want to reduce kids to a number on these tests, the difficulty with a test is the things that matter the most. The ability to work with other people, which is what employers tell us. This is what you got to have. How do you test that? How do you reduce that to one number? There have been ways to make schools look like they're failing when in fact schools are teaching more kids more stuff than they ever have. And that is something that concerns me. School is one variable among many. Healthcare, food, clothing, family environment, all these things. You look in this room, this is social capital sitting in the room. That's what it is. Our children are surrounded by this social capital. Demonstrating the lack of that social capital in urban school districts is easy. It's really easy. Who can we hold accountable in all of that? The school. The school is one variable. Do we want those children in those urbans to succeed? Absolutely we do. Can they? Absolutely. Is it hard? You'd better believe it's hard. But you can't look at one variable and say that's the one we're going to go after. So the challenges that we have are funding, obviously, and we need steady funding from our state. The reason we need steady funding is funding equals programs. Dollars equal programs, and programs equal people, and we put people in place to target needs. Okay? Because everybody doesn't get it at the same rate. And so you put things in place, you have smart people, and we engage them not for a week or for a month. It takes us 13 years to produce a product. 13 years we have a kid. We're not making a car in a day and a half. We're making people in 13 years. So the stability, institutions like schools thrive on stability because the product that we deliver matters, and that the stability equals predictability of service, and predictability of service equals a much greater likelihood of high quality. That's why the funding can't go up and down. That's why we need that continuity. And so for us, one of the things is I think that we have an exceptionally good school system right now. I want to tell you that my children are in this system. I am incredibly proud of the work that our people are doing and of the people I have the good fortune to work with. I am very concerned over time, as time goes forward, that we want to maintain that quality. Because you ask anyway, what brings you to the community? What makes you want to stay? Schools are always a part of that equation. So again, we're going to pass out the high school profile. Take a look at that. I think you'll be pleased and proud, likewise, of what your schools are doing. Again, from me as the person that's fortunate enough to work with you and for your kids and for all the students in the district, thank you very much for coming and for allowing me the pleasure of speaking to you today.
Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I'd like to thank Mayor Stephan and the City Council on behalf of the DDA for all of the liaison work you've been doing with us over the last 2 years. It's really helped the DDA to get our structure and our focus, and I just want to tell you that we thank you for helping us. So, with that, I'm going to share two segments with you in the presentation today. I'm going to talk a little bit about the highlights and accomplishments that we had in 2010, and then I'm going to take you through some initiatives that we're looking at for 2011. So let's talk about the highlights and the accomplishments. The board completed a parking study to enhance the infrastructure of both our downtown area and our Coolidge Loop. The parking committee, after completing an update to our parking study in May of 2009, move forward with the redesign of the municipal parking lot between the businesses on the south side of 12 Mile Road between Griffith and Tyler. The new project will include not only repaving the parking lot, but also incorporating streetscapes elements. Examples are going to be new curbs, pedestrian walkways, new plantings, trees, lightings, bike racks, which I know is a hot topic out there, benches, and trash receptacles. This project is intended as our pilot project and will set the tone for all future municipal parking development. Bidding for construction will take place in February of 2011, with the construction to begin in the spring. We also completed the rehab of the intersection of 12 Mile and Coolidge. A new vendor was selected in the 2010 for the maintenance of the community, and we have added colored flowers as well as a segment for snow removal. A new vendor was selected in 2010 for the maintenance of the planters and the cleanup of the sidewalks on 12 Mile and Coolidge, and we have received favorable comments on the approved appearance of our downtown district. We are planning on adding more color to the planting areas as well as an additional snow removal services for the business district. The board offered several technology training courses free to the business owners in Berkley area and a small fee to our surrounding area business owners. These sessions focused on technology development to enhance the business owner's profitability and long-term growth goals. The DDA has offered our local merchants educational classes to assist in the marketing of their businesses on the internet. The board also developed a social media concept on Facebook and Twitter for business owners within the community to utilize to promote their businesses, offering any upcoming events. The board developed a first-rate social media campaign that places the presence of Berkley businesses on the forefront of the internet. The board also added several new members who have enhanced our skill set. Are some of our new board members out there? Can they raise their hand? I think we've got a few new members out there. And also have helped us with our ability to deliver more programs as we embarked in 2011. We also added several committees who focus on specific programs as they arise. Now I'm going to talk to you a little bit about our initiatives that we're pursuing for 2011. The board is currently working on obtaining an enhancement grant to assist with the development of the parking plan, not only for our downtown area, but also to include portions of the Coolidge Loop area. Our efforts will now move to Coolidge, where we are exploring the idea of an enhancement grant to upgrade the streetscape in a similar fashion to what was done on 12 Mile Road several years ago. While many elements are likely to be similar, there are going to be some challenges on Coolidge that are different from 12 Mile that we intend to address. We will convene and design a charrette, probably in the winter or spring, where we will invite business owners to offer their input to the design team. Part of this work will involve implementing some of the critical projects identified in our parking study to help improve municipal parking along Coolidge. Our main focus is to enhance the overall downtown development area and offer solutions for all business owners to assist in growing and strengthening their business. We also would like to be viewed as a community of choice when business owners select a city to expand or start up their ventures. The board is also working to enhance our social media campaign to include a video marketing segment in 2011 and will be open to business owners in the market area. This video segment will give all business owners an opportunity to highlight their individual industries and expand their outreach to their customer base. Video marketing on the internet is the cutting-edge technology, and it attracts higher levels of traffic. We are very excited about the planning of the farmers market in 2011. We will be gaining insights from our surrounding neighbors who have experience in this area. The farmers market will go hand in hand with our green initiative. Our green initiative will include recycling as well as cooperating with other members of the Berkley community and placing, again, bike racks in the downtown district. I welcome all the residents of the community to attend our monthly board meetings and see the exciting things that are happening at the DDA. Thank you for this time today.
Thank you, Lita. It's always nice being on the board with the Chamber of Commerce and sitting down at our monthly meetings and having representatives from the DDA there, not to conquer and divide, but to identify what we could do together to grow the community. It's refreshing, and I look forward to continuing to work with you all. Our next speaker is going to be Mr. Case Hyatt, who is the president of the Berkley Chamber of Commerce. Case?
Pull my speech out here too. I didn't do it at Rotary though, Mike, and I do have spaghetti sauce on it. So, I just want to say thank you for everybody coming here. I'm going to keep it really short because I know we're running a little bit over here, and we have some awards to give out. I want to say thank you to our speakers, Mayor Steffen, of course, Mayor Gillum. Appreciate it. Mike, as always, you're the best speaker here. It's just hard to follow up, and I can tell. I mean, it's awesome to see how passionate you are about the schools, and you've been an awesome addition to the community, and we thank you. And Alita Young, thank you very much for giving us the update on the DDA. I also want to say a huge thank you to Julie Melrose and Dan Cleary. Without them, I mean, really, I'm just president by title. I say this every year, and I mean it. I mean, we have a lot of input in what we do on a daily basis and on a weekly basis and on an annual basis, but Julie's really the glue that holds everybody together, and I think we should all give her a round of applause. I'm just going to give a couple brief updates with the Berkley Chamber. I know we don't want to talk about, the economy. I hate when people say it's because of the economy and they don't have an explanation why. But, we've had a little bit of attrition with membership, but we still are at 110. We added 14 new members last year, which is a testament to, what we're doing. And as, Mayor Steffen said, I think all of those are new members. So new businesses in the community, which is awesome. I think Berkley is a destination community. I think we all agree to that. I mean, just looking around the room, I think first and foremost of Amici's Pizza, which part of being, I'm a Gen Yer, so, it's we like to go out, we like to have a good time. I know my wife loves Amici's. Every time she says, let's go out to Berkley, and we live in Dearborn. But, anybody in that community, I'm thinking of specialty shops, destination places like Bridget Dean's, Have You Any Wool. I mean, where else do you find that? I don't even know a shop in Royal Oak like it, and when we hear things, we always refer to those shops. And of course, Dan Cleary and the Coffee Beanery, who else can say they have Dave Dombrowski coming in there in the morning, the GM of the Tigers, sitting on the couch and just acting like a normal person, I mean, it's a destination, it's a destination spot. And with all of the programs and events that we've run over the last couple of years, I'm going to be with the Chamber. Well, we'll be 5 years in February, which the time has absolutely flown. I mean, I can't believe that. It's been an honor to see all these things from the Art Bash in its infancy, which I think was only 2 years going or 3 years running when I came in, to the event it has grown into. I mean, we had over 90 artists last year, which if you came to the Berkley Art Bash, it was amazing. I don't think we could quantify, even if we had tickets, sales, or anything, how many people were there, because I think people were just like, what's going on over there? And it was running simultaneously to Royal Oaks Clay and Glass Festival, which I think is a testament to, the promotion. The golf outing, the pub crawl, which had over 100, members again this year, visiting local establishments. It was fun. And it was a great chance for local businesses such as Bagger Dave's, Berkley Front, 24 Seconds, Elmara's, and Blarney Stone to really showcase what they have and be a part of the community. And I'll just plug this, the holiday party, which I hope all of you come to, will be at Amici's on December 16th. It's just a time to sit back and celebrate the year and look forward to what's going to happen in the upcoming year. With all that said, the last year we've accomplished a lot of things. I think, along with the DDA, our partnership has really been fruitful in the last couple of years. Alan Simonian is a board member now on the chamber board, and he is the president of the DDA. He brings a lot of insight on what's worked, what hasn't worked for them. So really, it's a collaborative effort on all of our parts to really understand what's making the businesses tick. And getting involved in the social media and rebranding our website was a huge innovation for us. And I'm going to use that term in a minute. I loved it. When we sat down at the beginning of the year, what did we need to do? Our website was okay. We weren't updating it very much, so we hired an outside. We outsourced it, and Jason has been doing an unbelievable job with keeping us on the wire and keeping our businesses, in tune with the community, and really promoting themselves and getting out there and promoting Berkeley. And I think when people come up and ask me, well, what's the benefit of being in a chamber? When you can rattle all that stuff off the top of your head, like all these networking opportunities, all that stuff, why are you not a member? I mean, I think one round alone paid for 24 seconds membership. If everybody went to, I'll put it in brass tacks like that, but I mean, it's true. I mean, we offer a lot of promotional opportunities. It's bittersweet. I will have been here 5 years. I don't know if any of you, all of you know this, I'm actually leaving, or I have left the bank, and I took an opportunity with a different company in Novi, so it's kind of bittersweet to say I'm not going to be a part of the chamber board anymore as of December, but I will have frequent contact. I will frequent a lot of the events. I will have some contact with the golf outings. Judy, I already told you that, with hers, and in the chambers. And Mayor Steffen hit it right on the head, and she's always very poignant in her speeches. Berkeley has to be innovative, and I think with all the passionate people in here, you can see where it's headed. When I came here 5 years ago, the streetscape, the business fronts, everything looked totally different than it does now. And I can't even quantify or count the amount of times that people say, "Oh, you work in Berkeley? Wow, I can't believe what that's turned into. We can't get enough of it. We go down there whenever we get a chance." And I'm talking about because it's clean, family friendly. The places that they frequent are destination places. And I'm going to close and say that we cannot sit back, just like Mayor Steffen said. If you're not moving, you're dying. I've always said that. Motion creates emotion. And if you've ever been one of my employees, you'll understand that I'm a pretty hyper person, and I don't really sit still, and I like to talk, even though it may seem like I'm reserved and kind of unapproachable. But I think that we cannot sit back is a great model for Berkeley. And if you become complacent, things in your life will stay the same or they will deteriorate. And that's the message I'm going to leave, for future endeavors here. Every figurehead, every business owner, every distinguished guest, which thank you for coming, by the way. Everybody here, if you're not moving, you're dying, and we cannot sit back. So thank you for everybody coming today, and good luck in the future. Thanks.
Thanks, Case. We've heard two things: progress, people. Can't have one without the other. And Case, I can't thank you enough for your leadership, friendship, professionalism, and for you, Julie, and the rest of the chamber board. It's been great just working together to see what we can do together. The important thing. Our next will be Julie Melrose, who is our executive director and the glue of the chamber. And we have some awards to present. Julie?
Thank you, Dan and Case. On behalf of the Chamber of Commerce, I would like to take this opportunity to extend our thanks and appreciation to our president, Case Hyatt. Case has not only been active in the Chamber of Commerce, but very active in the entire Berkeley community. He has been on the board of directors since 2006 and served as our president since 2007. Case, I just want you to know that you will truly be missed, and we wish you all the best in your future endeavors. So we would like to present an award to you. And this is just to show you our thanks and appreciation again for all you have done for the Chamber of Commerce and the City of Berkeley. I would also like to just take a minute and introduce the other board of directors that are here today. Dan Cleary, who is the vice president on the Chamber board, Jennifer Stark, Maureen McNamara, Bridget Dean, and Phil O'Dwyer, who is our city council liaison, and a very dedicated person. Each Each year, the Berkley Chamber of Commerce recognizes a business and a business person that give back to the community and have made Berkley a better place to live, work, and play. It is my pleasure to now present to you the business and business person that we have chosen to receive this year's Best of Berkley Awards. The first award goes to a business that is fairly new to Berkley, but in a short period of time has made their business a community gathering spot. This restaurant is family friendly with a warm, inviting hometown atmosphere, paying homage to Berkley with historic photos incorporated in their decor. You know, each time you visit, you will see a friendly face. Managers and staff alike are always visible, greeting and talking to guests to ensure the utmost satisfaction. And their food, well, you can't find better burgers, fries, and shakes. It truly is a hot spot for this community. This business has a commitment to not only provide the best service as possible on a day-to-day basis, but to be active members in our community. They joined the Berkley Chamber of Commerce even before they opened their doors, and have continually supported us with sponsorship, gift certificates, and volunteers. They support community organizations and groups from local sports teams to area schools. They provide sponsorships to youth sports teams, and for schools, churches, and other nonprofit organizations, they offer a fundraising night at the restaurant where a percentage of sales that the group brings in goes right back to the school or organization. They donate thousands of dollars each year to various nonprofits through this program. They are involved in local area events, supporting them through sponsorship dollars, food and in-kind donations, and participation as a vendor. They donate not only dollars, but gift certificates to events when sponsorship or food may not be a viable option. Their business works to be active outside the restaurant and continually shows their commitment to our Berkley community. It is with great pleasure that I present the 2010 Best of Berkley Business of the Year Award to Bagger Dave's Legendary Burger Tavern. I would like to invite Brandon Highfield, the general manager of the Berkley location, to come and accept his award. I would also like to introduce other members of Bagger Dave's that we have with us today. David Burke, Chief Financial Officer. Shannon Cabanas, Director of Marketing and also a member of the DDA Board. Yenna Ben Ezra, Corporate Controller. And Leah Phillips, Assistant General Manager. Thank you very much and congratulations. It is now my pleasure to tell you about an individual that is well known throughout the community. This person is a lifelong third-generation Berkley resident and a graduate of Berkley High School. She truly loves Berkley and all that it has to offer. This individual has been a business owner with a thriving business since 2007 and has actually worked for the business for 22 years. She is an active member of the community, serving on the DDA board for the past 2 years and a Berkley Junior for 4 years. She volunteers her time with Meals on Wheels as well as other Berkley community organizations. She sponsors many events throughout the year, including the Holiday Lights Parade Santa, Holiday Dinner, free seniors dinners, not only for Berkley but for surrounding communities. She sponsors both a softball and bowling team. She supports the Berkley Chamber of Commerce, the Berkley DDA, Berkley Parks and Recreation, and the City of Berkley. This individual is an active member in our community, not for the recognition, but because she truly loves all that Berkley has to offer. She will be the first to tell you how wonderful our city is. This individual truly epitomizes what this Best of Berkley Award stands for. She most certainly makes our community a better place to live, work, and play, and we are lucky to have her and her business right here in Berkley. It is with great pleasure that I present the 2010 Best of Berkley Business Person of the Year Award to Karen Korber, owner of Farina's Banquet Center. And she's hiding in the back.
Oh my gosh. Well, first of all, I hope you all enjoyed lunch. Thank you for coming. To say that I was blown away when Julie called me, because she did call me in advance, thank you, because I don't like surprises. To say I was blown away is just an understatement. I am honored that people think of me this way. When the opportunity arose for me to own a business in the city where I live and grew up, it arose. I couldn't say no, so of course I jumped at the opportunity. As far as volunteering and doing fundraisings and things like that, it's not hard to do the right thing when you have a good role model. And I was very fortunate I had the best. My mother was involved with the city for 40 years. Everything from the dad's club to the mom's club, PTAs, and all of that. And she lived by 3 rules. And the rules were work hard, take care of your family, and get involved. And that's what I did. People come to me, they need things, I can do them. It's the right thing to do. And at the end of the day, if you can say that you made a difference, I think she'd be pretty proud of me. So I want to thank you all for this. I appreciate it, and I'll see you at the holiday dinner.
Lastly, I would like to invite Senator John Papageorge, as well as the winners, Karen Korber, and members from Bagger Daves, if you would please come to the front.
Well, I thank you for inviting me to this event. Normally on Thursdays I'm in Lansing, so I miss it. But I gotta tell you, I really brag about Berkley. You're a wonderful community. Mike, you do a great job with the schools. Case, I congratulate you on the best job in any organization, past, present. I bring tributes to Karen and to Bagger Daves. I won't read them, the hour is late, but for those of you who want to know what's in these wonderful tributes, you're invited to Karen's or Bagger Dave's for breakfast tomorrow morning.
That concludes today's event. I would like to thank each and every one of you for joining today. I know each of you has a very busy schedule, and we certainly appreciate it that you have taken the time out of your day to share it with us. So thanks again.